With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Coming up this week on the Course of Life podcast, recapping a rather quiet week, but a couple of eventful wins, a big breakthrough for Cam Young in blowout fashion, and a new winner with an LPGA major in the rear view. Plus, I was running for my life on a baseball field. We get into that and Michael's wildlife checklist for his upcoming Alaska trip. This week's guest is our buddy Matt from Big Cedar Lodge, talking about everything that is basically the Disney World of the outdoors in the Missouri Ozarks. Plus, NFL updates, a baseball Firefest, and food, all coming up on a loaded Course of Life podcast that starts now.
Hello, interwebs, and welcome to Course of Life. I'm Michael. He's Alex. And Alex, let's head to the final event of the PGA Tour regular season before heading to the FedEx Cup. It was the Wyndham Championship in Greensboro. And for the 1,000th time, we have a unique winner on the PGA Tour.
Oh, nice. Good stat there. So 1,000 different people have won tournaments total on the PGA Tour in history. Wow, interesting.
And that means it's someone that people maybe have heard of. I think you should have. He came real close knocking on the door earlier this year. It is Cameron Young taking the win by 6 shots, clear of the field. A total snooze fest of a Sunday. Never in doubt for Cameron
it was
Young.
Pretty quiet golf. Definitely good napping golf this weekend for the fans out there. You could have taken the nap and woke up and not seen much of a change on the leaderboard. And Cam Young rolled immediately right out of the gate Sunday to lock in the blowout win. And it was just a parade basically from then on, which is an interesting way for him to get that elusive first win. You talked about it. He's probably one of the better American players that people do know and see. He's been on a lot of leaderboards throughout the last 4 or 5 years, I'd say. But for him to break through in this fashion, very interesting in the final regular season event.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed. It certainly helps him in the FedEx Cup playoffs to make sure that he is in, which he was going to be anyway. Number 40 anyway in the list. He's going to bump up there a little bit. And the biggest mover, we almost had Joel Damon. We had real hopes for Joel Damon at the beginning of the week where he went low, he had the lead. But then he fell apart, as he seems to do these days, and did not win, and he had to win to get in.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's a lot of stories like that of guys that were giving it one last go and weren't able to. There were sad stories like Davis Thompson, who came to the last hole probably needing a par to maybe get inside that top 70, and he 3-putted from about 45 feet. So there's a lot of heartbreak there. Guys who are basically finding out. It's kind of like, having to go to summer school. That's the PGA Tour fall events for the top players. is kind of like having to go to summer school back when we were kids. It's like, I didn't lock my card up, because anyone who makes it to the playoffs basically locks their card up for the next season. They don't have to worry about playing in the fall. If you don't make that top 70, though, you're like, oh crap. Well, I'm filling up my schedule for the next few months now.
Yeah. Byung-hun An dropped from 69 to 74th in the standings. And one of the big movers, Chris Kirk, from 73 to 61. So he's in. That was really your only like big mover there outside of Cameron Young with the win. The rest of the field pretty much stayed where they were.
Yeah, pretty quiet, like you said, uneventful Sunday finish for Cam Young's first win, but an impressive one, like you said. Next week we'll be talking about PGA Tour playoffs.
The other big event this weekend, which really should have had a lot of eyeballs on it if NBC had given it more than 4 hours of network coverage over the course of the weekend, was the AIG Women's Open at Porthcawl.
I knew you'd chime in about the network coverage there. That's your favorite barb right now.
Well, it's like if you want to really, we talk about the growth in women's sport and how it's becoming so much bigger. We've seen it obviously in basketball. We've seen it in golf over the last couple of years. But then you give these events, the biggest events of the year, it's such little coverage that it's like, ugh. I will say it at least had something. It was on USA from 7 a.m. to noon.
Yeah, and that's where I saw most of it, honestly. I really didn't even pay much of a mind to the network coverage until I watched the end Sunday. But yeah, a frustrating point of contention that for sure would love to be something that could be worked out a little more ideally in future TV network negotiations. Hint, hint, our new friend, our new commish there at the LPGA. Let's work on that as well, too.
Hopefully. That's the hope. Especially since you have a rookie winning the Open Championship. Mayu Yamashita took the win, 2 clear of Charlie Hall, who was charging on Sunday, but just couldn't get it done. Had a couple bogeys to wrap up the round that just kind of ended her chances.
Definitely an exciting player with a big swing, and she's got that great personality, an endorser of the Melbourne golf team as well, too. So it's fun to see her back on the leaderboards. Definitely a win coming soon for Charlie Hull. I feel like she's probably due for a major here in the next year or two as well.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of the usual names at the top of this leaderboard. Lottie Woe did kind of hang around, tie for 8th.
Yep.
Megan Kang with a tie for 6th. But all those really big names, they just couldn't seem to get it done at the Open.
Yeah, Nelly Korda, a major championship season. She's definitely going to be looking back a little questionably on this 2025 major championship campaign for herself. Left a lot out there for sure. So yeah, different looking leaderboard. One highlight that we do have to mention is the insane hole-in-one bank shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an all-timer. Just for context, Steph Kiriakou hit it about 2 inches left of the hole on the par 3 5th. And then was it Mimi Rhodes that we were watching this before it even came on, because I had to see it again to believe it. But with a literal billiards bank shot, hitting her ball off Steph's ball and into the hole for an ace.
I mean, that's pretty, an ace in any way is good, but that's pretty impressive.
And Michael, there's 2 reasons why this will never happen with us. Can you think about what they'd be?
You need 2 players in a row to hit balls that close to the hole.
Yep. Yeah. First off, I don't have luck when it comes to aces or hole-in-ones. I've never had one. I don't believe you. Have you had one as well? I don't think you have either.
No, God, no. I don't think I've even come close.
And part B, you and I will never just hit a shot 2 inches from the hole in the first place to even set up the opportunity for it to happen on the second hole. So those are 2 quick reasons why we couldn't do this.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. Another reason why we suck and everyone in the professional game is better, including the women, which can beat everyone's asses over and over again.
I think they're going to do that series, by the way. Barstool Sports is actually going to team up with some LPGA pros, and they're going to take the trolls, the quote unquote scratch golfer handicap trolls from the streets of YouTube and Instagram, and throw them up against an LPGA pro so they can get their butt kicked on YouTube.
That's actually kind of funny. I don't pay attention to a lot of Barstool, but the impression I get of Barstool is that they're very locker room bro. So you would think that they would be like, oh yeah, the women suck is what you would think you'd get out of Barstool. I know that's not what they do.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
It's just kind of funny. It's just funny that Barstool would be the one to do that. It's just
they're kind of cavalier in everything they do from a media perspective. So they're always chasing after the newest, most ambitious idea, and if they can execute that, it'd be cool to watch.
Yeah, that's true. So other big news that came out this week was something a little political, but we're going to call it part of golf here.
Oh, little pop politics. Okay, what we got?
Pop politics / golf. So there's a revival of the President's Council on Physical Fitness. That's President Trump has brought back to life. But the names that were most interesting that he now has helping out with this, that were at the White House during this announcement, was former WWE wrestler who I met when I was slinging coffees at Starbucks right after college. Didn't know it. Triple H.
You met Triple H when you were working at Starbucks in the Target. I remember that story forever.
Yeah. It's I'll just share the story so people know. I was closing one shift. I was by myself to help this big guy order a couple coffees, and then this woman came up right behind him after he left and was like, "Oh my God, does he come here often?" And I'm like, "Who? I don't know." They're like, "That was Triple H," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Yeah.
Yep. And now in 2025, he's quite literally cutting promos with the President of the United States on Instagram. That's where we're at now.
2 degrees of separation from President Trump for me.
Lovely. I know you never wanted to be closer in your life, and there you are. So.
The other names, Bryson DeChambeau, not that surprising. I feel like
close affiliation there. I mean, you quite literally saw him on stage for like events and inauguration stuff. So not surprised because of that affiliation. Who else was on there?
Annika Sorenstam.
Oh, yes. I did see a quick little excerpt of that press conference where she was there in attendance. Trump going through an unbelievable record. The GOAT. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing I do agree with Donnie on. Great to see Annika, the GOAT. Just being a part of keeping golf active in our culture, however she does it. I'm actually going to be attending a tournament here in the Beloit area in a couple of weeks. That's part of her network of junior tournaments that she puts on as well too. So it's good to see her spreading her wings.
There you go. So Council on Physical Fitness is back with them. They're bringing back that test. I remember doing it in high school. You had to like run a mile and do push-ups and sit-ups and all this fun stuff. I remember I did not do well on that test. I don't know if I could do it now because I'm woefully out of shape.
And is that literally? It's called like the presidential something of fitness or something like that. It's got some name or something like that. But
it's something dumb like that. I
do remember that from the elementary school gym classes. Yeah. Be sure to leave a comment if you remember taking that test and what your time was. What were you clocking there for that mile?
Oh God, it was not good. I was doing 30-minute mile. I don't know.
30-minute mile. Love that.
Wasn't great. But yeah, you said you're going to be visiting one of Annika's tournaments in a couple of weeks, one of her junior tour tournaments, which means you're enjoying life in the Beloit area out there as you do this time of year. How's your week 2 of 30,000 or whatever, because you've moved there for the foreseeable future?
Pretty much, yeah. Doing week 2/3 right now here, turning the corner into August right now in the Beloit area, checking out really cool small businesses and things that are new and alive here. And one of them is Henry Dorbacher's. I don't know if you saw this post, but I put it up on Instagram at Course of Life Alex. It's basically just like a fun emporium. It's led off by the duck pin bowling. That's the bowling with like the really short alley and the small ball.
Yep.
That's a fun experience.
But yeah, short alley, because the small ball could also be confused for candlepin bowling, which is a New England thing. Yep. Duck pin has the string too, right? Isn't there the string on the pins for duck pin? Yeah.
And I figured out the secret to duck pin bowling is you have to bowl from the side. If you just throw a line drive straight on, you got no shot at making a strike. So you got to throw from the side if you want to be a hero when it comes to the duck pin bowling. And then also they have an unbelievable 9-hole mini golf course, which I just posted about as well too. It's called The Plant. It's neat because this ironworks facility where Henry Dorbacher's is an old manufacturing plant that's got over 100 years of history there. And they've kept a lot of the same framework, and there's neat touches to history, both in the mini golf course and throughout the property. You would have loved the vintage pinball machines, basketball, great patio on the river. So definitely a cool spot to check out if you're in the area.
And then I know you made your what's becoming your annual pilgrimage to the Beloit Sky Carp baseball team.
Yep, that's right. And I just sent you the video of me being ketchup. Did you catch this yet? So basically, you can watch it while I babble. But basically, you know how they have those fun, lively promotions in between innings to keep the crowd enthused. Well, they've got one called Catch Ketchup. And fortunately, thanks to my friends at the Sky Carp, I got to be ketchup. So I was basically sprinting from the center field wall straight down to the first baseline gate to run up the stairs with the objective of me not being caught. Whereas all those droves of kids running behind me were trying to catch up. And that was quite fun, running for my life across the baseball field with random people cheering and jeering me in the crowd.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away the video for people to be able to see themselves, but you had some good speed until you didn't.
Yep. Well, I mean, I just had to put the wheels on, and it's one of those things where I had the phone up for a little bit. I was like, "Oh wow, I'm actually going to do this." But then I had a couple people warn me, the staff members, as I was getting closer to the dugout. One of them said, "They're gaining on you."
Yeah. I mean, look, it's obvious that you are not a distance runner.
I'm not. No, I'm great for like a mile or two. Yeah. I am great in a nice mile or two jog. I am not a sprint guy, so that was tough for me to bust out the wheels there. But you can check that out at Course of Life Alex and COL Podcast on Instagram. It was fun mixing it up with the Sky Carp, and we're gonna have some fun stuff upcoming with the Sky Carp as well. Michael, they're gonna let me bring the clubs to the stadium and out onto the field.
Don't
There's
take a divot.
Tease for you.
Don't take a divot.
I'm bringing a mat. Yeah.
No mat. I don't even want to see you do a mat. I want to see you try to pick it clean. Off home plate, and you got to like drop it on like second base or something.
I think we're gonna set up a pin. We're gonna do something. So
it's fun also. I mean, it's what is it like? What center field? Like 400 feet. So that's only like 120 yards or something.
Yeah, I think
right?
like a nice 100-yard wedge, a competition against maybe one of the players, I think is what I'm going to do. Hit some with the little flag stick out in center field. I think that might be the play.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool.
Speaking of golf, how much have you gotten in already, and how much more are we looking for you to do?
I got rain delayed last week. So, but good news, bad news there. I got rain delayed to this week. So now I got 3 rounds of golf lined up this week, playing Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. A couple of fun content-specific rounds as well, too, at Prairie View in Byron, Illinois, and up in Wisconsin in the Lake Geneva area at a course called Hawks View, which I'm very excited to show off. So, yeah, 3 rounds of golf. My hands are going to be killing me. I'm already prepping for the calluses and blisters because listen, I love the game, but you and I know it's not very often we bank 3 rounds in 1 week. So I know my hands will be exhausted.
Do the Tiger Wood things and just tape your hands ahead of time.
I may have to. May go with the pre-tape. I like that.
I like it.
Nice.
Well, while you're enjoying the Midwest, I'm going to have to start packing over this next week for my extended vacation to Alaska.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 weeks away now, aren't we?
Under 2 weeks away. Thursday was 2 weeks. So
wow, exciting!
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So this is a cruise in Alaska, and what I wanted to kind of ask you about today is I watch a lot of YouTube, cool cruise adventures. People see amazing things along the way. What are we most commonly likely expected to see along the way during the cruise?
Amazing views.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Alaska. If it's not going to be one of the most beautiful parts of the world, then I don't know why I'm going. Is there like a big bear population that's going to be visible from the boat? Maybe, or like is that going to be a thing?
Potentially,
I know it's kind of bear season. I know that we're going when there is a increased chance of seeing a lot more wildlife out there. We are starting with a land portion where we're going up to Denali National Park. I am not calling it what they've changed it to. It is Denali National Park. And so I'm sure we're going to see some wildlife there. We have like a 4-hour tour through the national park that we're going to do there. There's a high chance to see some there. And then on the way back, on the next day, we get on a train at like 8 a.m. and take the 9-hour train ride all the way back down to the ship.
Whoa, a 9-hour train ride in Alaska.
Yeah. So that should be pretty remarkable with, being in those kind of bubble cars, I think, so you can kind of see everything. And then we're going to see some glaciers because we're going to do some scenic cruising through Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay National Park. So those should be really cool as well. And then we'll hit Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before hitting the Inside Passage and getting back to Vancouver.
Wow, love that. Great itinerary indeed. Bear alert. That'll be like the magnum opus moment, is if you catch a bear in the wild, just grazing and enjoy himself.
I feel like, though, other than a bear, I'd like to see a whale.
Yes.
So that's maybe
that would be a moment.
That would be more impressive to me than seeing a bear out in the wild. So, and the real question is, how much salmon am I going to eat during the trip?
Oh, okay. I didn't even think about the food perspective of this all. Okay. A lot of salmon there. Nice. Yeah. I'm a fan. Yeah. All right. Very exciting. Good time. Yeah. Next week. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's tune in and share what we're tuning into outside of the world of sports. Alex, I've had the house to myself for the past week.
Wow! Geez, you finally drove her too crazy. She drove her too crazy. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen eventually. Yeah. Wow, there it is.
She got in my car and she left. My wife has gone to Indianapolis for Gen Con. We went last year.
That's right. That's the board game convention, correct?
Yeah. She was like, if you're going to Alaska, I get to go to Gen Con. I'm like, that is perfectly fair.
Yeah. I get that.
So, the house is empty. The dog was actually boarded for most of it because it's just like I'd have to take the dog to daycare every day. So it's just one less thing I didn't want to have to worry about. So, I don't know what it's like for you when you're alone in the house for an extended period without your wife. But that first night is like, this is great. It's all mine. I can do whatever I want.
Yes.
The second night, it's like, okay, it's kind of empty. That third night, it's like, I just want my wife back.
That's nice. That's very, very heartfelt sentiment. And I do agree with that. There is some bliss to having the plans, taken away and just having all the decisions being made to yours. It kind of reminds me of my younger years, before having a partner. And that first night, there's kind of that moment of jubilation. You enjoy it, but then there's a certain point, maybe it's 2 days or 3 days for you. For some people, it might be longer, but there's a certain point after a little while when you do just want to get back in your routine.
Yeah. And I find that when I'm alone, I struggle to find motivation to make dinner every night. Like I want the easiest option. I don't want to have to cook things and then clean it all myself and deal with it.
Yeah, so cooking for one definitely hits a lot different than cooking for two, for sure.
Yeah, and I think after 10 years now of living together, it's been about 9. It's just like I'm used to cooking for 2. So cooking for 1, it's like, it doesn't really matter anymore. It's just me. So I can do whatever, I'm just going to pick something easy.
Yeah. Amen to that. Cool. While you're adjusting, I'm adjusting too to a little bit of a different climate and a little bit of a different view TV wise too. So I've been catching some of the local news here in the Midwest, and compared to being in a big city like Austin, Texas, where there's stuff, there's breaking news, there's crime. I got to tell you, Michael, the local news here is just downright adorable. They're just the cutest stories about the most innocent things. We're getting excited for county fair season here.
Oh yes.
We're talking about stuffing the bus for back to school. It's just the most wholesome newscast in the world here in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. It's great.
It's, there's something about small market television.
Yeah. It's quite charming. The anchors are just young pups, fresh out of college. Reminds me of a young version of myself, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They haven't been beaten down by the media industry yet, and they're loving life, just anchoring the news in Northern Illinois. It's really great to see.
They're not old and senile yet.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like we are. Yep. So, fun times catching the local newscast in the Midwest.
All right, let's get to the turn in this week's guest. We're going back to Big Cedar Lodge and an interview that you did with one individual who's worked directly with Johnny Morris.
Yeah, Johnny, like the guy, Johnny Morris, as in Johnny Morris, the CEO of Bass Pro Shops, who is all over this property. This is his playground, and we get into everything that's great about the playground that is Big Cedar Lodge. Next up on the tee here at the Big Cedar Lodge Resort in the beautiful Ozarks of Missouri. What a stunning property this is. We got the Director of Marketing, Matt McQuarrie. Matt, how you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. I'm glad I got in contact with you via Megan earlier this year at the PGA Merchandise Show to finally make this trip happen. And I'm having that same jaw drop moment that everyone has when they come here for the first time. I've heard other content creators say, this place is like Disney World. And it really is. It's hard to put into words just how beautiful the area is.
Yeah, it's got a lot of eye candy, a lot of shock and awe for sure for first-time travelers, especially because the Ozarks are a very common spot for people to travel if you're from the United States, unless you're really from the Midwest. So it's kind of a blind spot for a lot of people. So to get here and kind of see the topography, the rolling green hills, and then add some awesome golf courses on top of it makes it pretty stunning.
Yeah, you get the doses on social media and you see things on TV from all sorts of angles. But when you actually get out here to the elevation and you see the topography of the area, it's very different than what you might expect for this part of the country.
Yeah, it's a lot of elevation change, especially if you're coming from somewhere like Florida or somewhere relatively flat. It's pretty shocking. And the golf courses incorporate that elevation change on a lot of the shots. So it makes for some pretty stunning tee shots and really beautiful backdrops.
What's your background as it pertains to this area? Or do you have any roots to this area?
I'm from Springfield originally.
I was about to say, yeah.
Wasn't in golf out of college. I actually started playing golf in college and kind of got addicted to the game that way. Worked in healthcare for a while, kind of as a logistics account manager, and joined the resort in 2018. Back when there was just one 18-hole course and a par 3 course.
A distant memory.
Yeah, right. And my job was tournament sales, so trying to fill with single-day shotguns and going out to charities and sort of thing, getting corporate outings. But since Ozarks is open and Paynes Valley and Mountaintop and now Cliffhangers, it's become a destination. So it's not as challenging to fill the tee sheets anymore. So it's more about handling buddy trips and all the travelers we have right now. So definitely changed from tournament sales to just handling the influx of the hundreds of thousands of golfers we have each year.
Yeah, and this is a property that is always evolving too. I like that. I read on your LinkedIn profile, you like the phrase "never stop learning." That is mandatory here because there's always change going on at this resort.
Johnny is not one to sit still. He does not have idle hands. He likes to be active. He's obviously the founder of Bass Pro Shop, so he's got a pretty big in Denver, just up the road in Springfield. But I think that Big Cedar and Big Cedar Golf are really kind of his playground where he gets to have a little more fun and get some creative juices going, which is why he probably designed Cliffhangers, because it's designed by him and his son, JP. So, yeah, it's always changing, always growing. It's funny to have groups that are coming back, every other year, every year, just to see the new offerings, the new amenities. There's always something new at Big Cedar to show off.
Yeah, what is it about Johnny? I feel like a lot of people talk about him and kind of like his entrepreneurial spirit, but you mentioned it, that this is kind of like a playground for him. That's a dangerous combination for someone who's got the resources and the creativity to do whatever they want here.
He's really the Walt Disney of the outdoors, as they say.
Yeah.
He just likes making great experiences to connect people to the outdoors. And so the resort has so many things in addition to golf. The resort didn't even start as a golf resort. It was a lakefront retreat for families to come and enjoy the lake and enjoy the Ozark Hills. But golf is kind of a newer venture for the resort. So he just has an eye for making those unforgettable experiences and moments happen, whether it's in his retail shops at Bass Pro or around the resort. And now on the golf course, they're everywhere. You can see all over.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. And you mentioned it a moment ago. Cliffhangers is the newest addition. We'll get to the rest of the property amenities, but I just played it last night and it's still on my mind, racking my brain for its pure beauty. I called it part art and part golf adventure. What were your first impressions when you first saw it finished and ready to roll out just a few weeks ago?
It started, it initially wasn't going to be a par 3 course. It was going to be a driving range. And then the idea got thrown around to make it a driving range or a convertible par 3 course. So driving range during the day and maybe you make a couple par 3s in the evenings. And then it just completely flipped. It was like, no, we're going all in. We're going to do not only, a par 3 course, but an 18-hole par 3 course, and unlike any par 3 course you've probably seen before.
And the routing is the part that I can't get over. I was constantly twisted in different directions, wondering where I was going next, but it all made sense in the end.
Yeah, you don't realize how big the property is. You can see it from the road as you're driving in. You see this kind of massive cliffside, and I think it kind of looks small from the road, but as you drive around it, you're like, where am I? Because you go through some canyons and some rock formations, and you kind of get lost out there. And the holes all have such a unique look to them, and they're pretty wild for a par 3 course, let alone any sort of golf course. But I'm excited for the world to see it this summer, just because it's so new. And the first time I saw it, I've seen a couple holes. It was like, man, this is an awesome golf course. There's some crazy greens too. It's not just the beauty of the backdrop or the waterfalls. There are some really fun greens with wild tiers and slopes and bold greens that make you'll be on hole 1 alert all day. or you'll have pins that people are going to struggle to make 5 on just because of the options of the greens. So it's really unique in that sense, which is going to make it fun because we can make that course, a hole-in-one fest all day and birdies and everything's in the bowl and the ball feeds down the pin, or we could put the ball in some unpinnable spots and just wreak havoc on golfers. So.
I started to notice that, yeah, and it creates that beautiful moment when groups or anyone's playing a par 3 course where you hit a shot, it lands, but then you've got the 5 to 10 seconds of run up to see where it actually ends. And that kind of creates that suspense. It's all part of the experience
exactly.
as well.
It's a par 3 course. I mean, it's not a full 18 championship course. You're probably not going to host any major championships out there, but I mean, as far as the what it's trying to do is get golfers out there and having fun and making memorable shots, and especially get a group out there hitting multiple shots. I mean, you want birdies or you want carnage kind of with your buddies, and that course has both. So a good addition to our rota.
Things I had to shout out. There was one hole where the cart path was the bunker and the bunker was the cart path.
Yeah, kind of like a sandhills or coastal look to it. It was, very unique. John's a big fan of, Pebble and Sea Island. That's a common thing in those coastal courses where you're actually driving the cart through a waste area or a bunker, whatever you want to call it. So some shout outs to some other courses and designs out there in that bowl.
And I can tell you this is already posted. I'm talking in the future, but I did a top 5 waterfalls post at Cliffhangers. That's probably going to be a pretty contentious list because there's many more than 5 out there.
Yeah, there's some wild ones too, but there's some big ones, but it's hard to beat the one where you're hitting out of the waterfall. That's probably the most unique thing about the golf course. I think the thing people are going to see most on social media is teeing off from inside a cave behind the curtains of a waterfall down to about a green about 120, 110 yards away. So not something a lot of golfers have done in the past. So pretty unique to our property.
Yeah, that was hole number 3 for sure. And then I just want to finish with Cliffhangers and talk about the actual cart driving experience. There's a lot of really wild courses where you go all through the mountains and you wind through elevation. But I would say that was the best kart driving experience. That's a perfect moment for someone who may just want to, tag along and enjoy the experience and drive, because the places it takes you is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you get beauty all around. It's not a flat property. You're literally on the edge of a cliff for most of the ride. So if you've got, a non-golfer that's riding along, they're going to just kind of be an amazement walking around, get to drive through multiple caves, get a stop at the snack shack along the way. So get yourself a bison dog there. So, I mean, and it's also a great spot for kids because it's something out of a kid's imagination almost. If you bring like a group of 10-year-olds and they're trying to get into golf, this sort of course would have them like dreaming about it. It's like a video game out there. It just looks unreal compared to probably any other par 3 course you played before.
Yep. And it neighbors one of the newer properties here at Big Cedar Lodge. There's always something new, but one of the most recent course developments is obviously Paynes Valley, highly lauded course. One of the best publics in the country, bar none, on every list you can name. And it's got a familiar designer that people would know as well, too.
Yeah, Tiger and his team were out here and they designed that one, opened up in 2020. And that's what really, I think, got the word out to Big Cedar more nationally. I mean, obviously we had a Court Crenshaw course with Ozarks National. So when Court Crenshaw opened, Ozarks National, it kind of got us a little more notoriety for sure. But I mean, Tiger at that point had just won the Masters and he hadn't done a public course yet. And golf was kind of on its upward COVID boom swing.
True,
so it was kind of a maturation of all these things coming together. And the first people to play it were Tiger Woods and Justin Thomas versus Rory McIlroy and Justin Rose.
It's a decent foursome, yeah.
Yeah, at a time when the Ryder Cup was canceled. So it was kind of the fill-in de facto event. So, I mean, I remember when that event aired, it was like the phone was ringing off the hooks and it was clear the word was out.
That must have been a nice moment for you.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. There's always like after a professional event or a major tournament, like usually the Sunday night of it is kind of like, oh, it's over. It's like, get back to normal, but there was no normal after that. I mean, it was the new normal was just like we had arrived, I think, and the word was out, and now I think we're much more of a household name. I mean Paynes Valley's in EA and PGA 2K, and you see it on golf simulators, and the 19th hole is so talked about. So it's just interesting being from the Ozarks, and we're not a part of the country that people think about first when you think about golf, especially when I was growing up playing and getting into the game. So now it's weird that people know the Ozarks as kind of, there's a really famous golf course there. So pretty unique.
And this playground's gigantic. Behind those 2 venues, there's a few more that have been here as well, too. And I'm going to shout out great hospitality from Eddie, the bus driver, who was giving me a great tour all the way up. And he let me know that Buffalo Ridge is the one that's the most slept on. It's always the one that leaves maybe the sneaky best impression. Talk to me about that course specifically.
Agree 100%. I think it just doesn't get the praise just because it's the older course. I think people just kind of assume the newer ones are better. But Buffalo Ridge is a great Tom Fazio course. It was redone in 2012 and reopened in 2014 as Buffalo Ridge. Really cool golf course. like I said, I think it's slept on just because people are so blown away by it because they don't expect much from it. They think, oh, that's lower on your list. You've had it here for a while, but they get out there like, holy cow, this is a cool golf course. Just because it's got the Tom Fazio flashy bunkering. There's really cool water features. There's caves on the course. And true to its name, there's a herd of North American bison that roam several holes. So while you're playing, you might look to your left off the tee box and see
it's on the logo,
bison.
It's in the dogs,
Exactly.
It's literally next to the courses.
I think some people come in and they're so used to Tiger Woods' name in Paynes Valley and Port Crenshaw, they're thinking, yeah, this course is like another one, but it's like all of our courses. They're all three very unique and have their own style. That's my favorite thing is to ask buddy grip trips, their group, what was your favorite course? Because the debate comes up. Some people like, the wide open tee shots and kind of the big ballpark of Paynes Valley with all the eye candy of the 19th hole. Some are more purists. They like the link style golf course or Crenshaw. And then you got guys that just like the Parkland style, lots of water features, lots of flashy bunkering look of Buffalo Ridge. So there's something for everyone out there.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Ozark National. That's the core Crenshaw. And then I believe there's also some sort of a walking course as well, too. Can you describe that?
We've got 2 par 3 courses as well. So Mountaintop is a par 3 walking only course. That one's done by Gary Player. So when Gary Player and Johnny came together to do that course, it was kind of decided that would be walking only.
I know Gary Player loves that.
The fitness
Mr.
aspect.
Fitness.
And then Johnny wanted people to get out there and connect with nature. You're also at the top of the mountain, so you've got awesome views of the Ozark Mountains in all directions. So kind of made sense for that one to be walking only. It's a short walk. It's under 2 miles. It's at the very top of the hill out and back. So you're not going down the ravines. And there's no forced carries on that golf course. So we have junior tournaments with kids as young as 5 years old, and they can skip the ball up there and have fun. But the challenge of that course comes with the greens, lots of holes, lots of slopes, just a challenging putting course. So, something for everyone there. And then our other par 3 course before Cliffhangers is Top of the Rock, which is a Jack Nicklaus signature par 3. That one is lots of forced carries. There's water on, I think, 6 or 7 of the 9 holes.
I feel like I remember seeing some events back in the day on TV at Top of the Rock.
Yeah, we hosted. It was the first par 3 course to host a professional championship. So
that's
the champions
right.
Play there. It's got true island green. It's got tons of water, tons of forced carries. So just a different style from the other course. That's Mountaintop is almost entirely zoysia plain surface, and Top of the Rock is tee to green with lots of treble, but lots of eye candy there too. It's like a little mini Augusta par 3, just in this little sanctuary garden with lots of flowers and foliage. So cool stuff to see there as well. So
what's next for Johnny now? Is there a course number 6 on the horizon here? What are the plans ahead?
You never know. I mean, we just opened this one this month, so we're still getting used to operational aspects with that one. But he's
like the Tom Brady mantra. What's your favorite ring? The next one. I know he's already thinking about the next ring here.
If it's not something in golf, it's something at the resort. I mean, he's got other activities and things to add on there. And then also, I mean, there's Bass Pro, which is the largest specialty retailer in the world. So he's got plenty he could do there, but he's definitely not one to sit and relax and say, okay, we're calling it a day. I want to put it past him to do another one, but at this point, I don't know of anything specifically on the books.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's kind of a little bit of the golf aspect. I also want to touch on some non-golf aspects to Big Cedar Lodge as well, too, because at Top of the Rock, there's a lot of different things that you can do specifically as it pertains to Top of the Rock. It's not just the par 3 we talked about.
Yeah, so Top of the Rock is almost its own separate entity from Big Cedar Lodge.
Okay.
Up there's 3 restaurants plus a wine and whiskey bar. One of those is Arnie's Barn. So Arnie's Barn is actually Arnold Palmer's family barn from Latrobe, Pennsylvania that Johnny bought from him, brought it over board by board and rebuilt it. So that sits above the Top of the Rock Pro Shop. And then there's also the Osage Steakhouse, just known as the Osage, and Buffalo Bar, which is an awesome patio restaurant overlooking Tape Rock Lake. So 3 restaurants there, plus a wine and whiskey room. There's also the Ancient Ozarks Natural History Museum, which is on the lower level. So if you're a fan of Native American artifacts or just history of the Ozarks as far back as Native American up to the Civil War, there's tons of cool stuff down there to see. There's also one of the most popular things at Big Cedar is the Lost Canyon Cave and Nature Trail. So that is a self-guided golf cart tour through the Ozark Mountains. You go through a cave. There's lots of waterfalls.
You don't need to walk. You can just take the golf cart.
Yeah, it's loaded the kids, and the kids love it just because you go through a cave, and you got to go at your own pace. You can stop and take photos at all the water features.
It's like your own little Disney ride again.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah, it really is. It really is. So that property alone is its own thing. But then there's also Big Cedar Lodge as a whole with a spa, a family fun center, multiple marinas, a nature preserve. There's just so much to do for anyone outdoors.
I was going to ask about the water and the fishing aspect. I know Johnny's got to have something for the fishers out there. So people who want to come and want to fish on the lake, what's their options? So
they can bring their own boat. We've got a boat launch if you have your own boat, but there's also 2 marinas where you can operate out of and get pontoons or ski boats or fishing boats. You can have a fishing guide with you, so they'll come and pick you up and take you out on the water in case you're not.
I need one of those. Yeah,
take you right to the fish, makes it a little bit easier. There's also trout fishing at Dogwood Canyon. So if you don't want to do lake fishing, there's a stocked trout creek at Dogwood Canyon, which is a lot of fun for fly fishing and just a different style fishing than big lake bass fishing.
What's your biggest catch? How are you as a fisherman?
Not bad. Probably the biggest fish, probably like a 20-pound salmon.
Oh, okay, there you
Alaska. Yeah, so I've done some fishing myself.
Love that. And one other thing I just saw as well, too, that I didn't quite realize the level of acts that came through is the Thunder Ridge venue in this area as well, too. What's like a cool show or the best act you've seen there?
I think the biggest one they had was Post Malone recently.
Oh, yeah.
The Rolling Stones played there last year.
Dang,
Morgan Wallen. Hosier,
right as we're here, Hosier's
played
there,
last night, I think.
Yep.
And,
very cool.
Selfishly, I'm going to go see Jimmy Eat World. I'm a fan of like 2000s pop-up.
Yes.
So Jimmy Eat World is playing with The Offspring and Newfound Glory in August. So
you'll appreciate that I've seen Jimmy Eat World open for, I think, Fall Out Boy. And then they also opened up for, I think, Green Day back in the day. Because you're right in me and my wife's music genre there, too. We're seeing Simple Plan later this summer. So, we have a kinship there for sure. Love it. Matt McCreary here with Big Cedar Lodge joining us on the Course of Life. Let's finish with the 19th hole. And this is the most appropriate 19th hole to finish conversation with, because we got to get to a lot of different aspects about the 19th hole at Paynes Valley. From what I understand, this was a late ad that I hear Tiger Woods didn't even know too much about. How did this all come about with creating this 19th hole after the 18 holes you play at Paynes Valley? Yeah, so the 19th hole at Paynes Valley was all Johnny Morris. Tiger had done the first 18, and he'd come back every week or so for site visits, and the team would work while he was away. At that point, he was still playing quite a bit, so he'd come back and do a site visit. And one time between visits, he came back, and Johnny had just kind of bulldozed an area for like a par 3. And he was like, what do you think about this? And it was like, well, what is it? And it's like, well, we got a little bonus finishing hole. So that started to pop up a little more in the last decade or two. I've seen some other courses that have done it as well. Just kind of fun, like a tiebreaker hole, a send-off hole sort of thing. So it's really awesome. And that one he went over the top with. I mean, it's from the tips, it's about 130, 140 yards. But it's a true island green. You've got a 200-foot waterfall in the backdrop. You've got a little tiki bar there to get your drinks and photos. So really cool 19th hole. And I mean, you would think there'd be more hole-in-ones because it's a shorter par three, but I think the nerves get to people on there. I want to say we've had like 20 or 25, but that's over the course of like 5 years. It's not as many, but there's a pretty cool prize package for those that are lucky enough to get it and know what's in it. Join the 19th hole club by getting an ace there, but you only know about the club once you're in it, but I'll just say try to get an ace for that one to get it. I love that.
And then after the hole, you'll take the Cliffhanger Trail back up, which is you already did it on Cliffhangers, obviously.
And I'm about to do it again.
Yeah, you're going to do it again. Just go through a little cave on the way up. So just a way to send off. I mean, it's kind of the crescendo of the whole golf course, and you leave that course kind of with this uphill drive overlooking the course you just played, the 19th hole. It's pretty awe-inspiring.
How close have you come?
Probably like a few feet before. I think I've had a couple that, in the air look great, and then they're, 5 yards in front or behind. But those few moments when it's in the air, it looks really good. You kind of hold your breath for a second, then it lands, and you come back down to earth.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic photographed holes in golf right now. The 19th at Paynes Valley. Looking forward to experiencing that. And you mentioned it, there's literally a bar at the 19th hole to accompany the 19th hole. But then there's also a 19th hole, which we're going to call the 20th hole for the purposes of this venue, at the Mountaintop Lounge and Bar. So we got to finish with that question. What's your order recently these days when you're at the 20th hole here at Mountaintop?
I'm a burger and beer guy, so I'm going to do the Wagyu burger and probably an IPA.
Yeah. Great choice indeed. Matt, thank you so much for hopping on the Course of Life. Love the information on Big Cedar Lodge and looking forward to enjoying the rest of this day.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Course of Life podcast is brought to you by Zencastr. We've been using Zencastr here since almost the very beginning, as how Alex and I record this podcast from hundreds of miles away, and it provides us with great quality audio that works every time, and it's something that makes Course of Life what it is and has kept us being able to make consistent episodes every week. And now it's super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. You log in using your browser and start recording a high quality podcast right away. You record studio quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. You feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. And have you ever wondered what you actually sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. Head on over to zencastr.com/pricing and use our promo code Course of Life to get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of your podcasting and content needs. Again, that's zencastr.com/pricing and our promo code Course of Life. Zencastr, it's time to share your story. We're back. Great chat there with Matt McQuarrie from Big Cedar Lodge. Really sounds like Johnny Morris is the Walt Disney of the outdoors.
Yeah, that's the quote that resonates. Like I'd seen past content creators go there and be like, this place is basically Disney World. And that quote really drills it home. Whatever Johnny sees and puts his mind to, he's going to make happen, as evidenced by things like the Cliffhangers Par 3, Paynes Valley, the 19th hole, which he just did as his own surprise. So imagine you're Tiger Woods and you design this 18-hole golf course. And then all of a sudden you check out the updated 18th green. You say, hey, Johnny, what's that? What's that? What'd you do over there? Oh, yeah, I just drilled a gigantic hole into the cave there for the 19th. No big deal. So that's the kind of guy he is. He's a maverick, but he created something amazing there, and it was awesome to catch up with Matt and learn all about it.
You know, throwing in a 19th hole, that's very Pat Ruddy. That's very European club. That's I want more golf to play here. Right?
It's just that extra little touch at the end, the island green wedge, bar to the left, amazing photo opportunity. It's a one-of-a-kind moment. The thing that you'll appreciate there, too, is they literally have someone who just takes your photo there at the 18th, and it's just an actual photo that gets live developed on the spot, and they just hand you copies, and it doesn't cost a dime either. They just do that just out of the goodness of their heart.
Like a Polaroid? Like they just hand you a
great.
Polaroid?
It's like a 3x5 or a 4x6. Remind me to pull it, and I'll send it to you. But it was really cool to see.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. There you go. Well, if you like that conversation with Matt McQuarrie, plus everything else we're doing here on this podcast, make sure you punch that subscribe button on the podcast app you're using right now. That's one of the most direct ways you can let us know that you like what we're doing. In addition, you can give us a rating of up to 5 stars, 2 thumbs in the upward position. You can tell a friend about us and get them to start listening to us too. More people listen to us means that we get to do more fun stuff. Because you hear ads in this podcast. We need to monetize so that we can pay ourselves, because we don't make any money with this. We lose money every year on this.
Yeah, fun fact. Yeah, we do make money off those advertisements, but it's such a dauntingly low number that we're so too ashamed to even show it to you. So please change that with a click and a thumbs up right now.
You've seen those actors that get checks for their shows, be on forever.
Yep.
And it's like 1 cent. It costs more to mail the check than the check is actually worth. That's how much money we make. We make such a small amount that it costs more to mail the check than for us than the money on the check.
And sponsors and golf brands, go ahead and please change that by sliding in the DMs at COL Podcast on Instagram.
All right, let's talk football because Thursday was the big night, Alex. It finally came back to television. We won't have like a Thursday night.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
Are your business expenses playing hide and seek? With Uber for Business, the small spends that slip through the cracks, like rides and meals, go right where you need them. Because it integrates with leading expense platforms, you can say goodbye to surprise costs, missing dollars, or chasing receipts. Everything's track downable. Uber for Business. Make small steps that make a big impact. Learn more at uber.com/small steps.
Without professional football on again till sometime next year.
Yes.
That Hall of Fame game was ugh, too. So.
Oh yeah, no, it was a classic snooze fest, just like it always is. But it's literally me. It's just this. The entire month of August is basically me pretending like I really do care about the games, but in reality, I'm just staring at the TV with that glazed look of excitement. Just at the mere idea that it's back on my screen. That's really all it's going on.
Just kind of like, wow, they're throwing a ball. You're like a dog. You're just like can't contain your excitement. You're
pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Puppy with the meal about to be poured in his dish, basically, is where I'm at right now. I'm Friday night for debut for Drake May. I think he's going to get a series or two, maybe. That's TBD. And you are Saturday on the NFL Network, so I'll be checking you out because I know you had a busy offseason. The quarterbacks, Michael. Yeah. You got Russell Wilson, you got Jameis Winston, and you got Jackson Dart from the draft as well too. What's going to happen this August?
We literally got an Eli Manning clone, unlike the previous one that did not work out in Jackson Dart. So yeah, it's gonna be Russell Wilson for about 8 to 10 weeks, and then it's gonna be Jackson Dart.
You're right. And this is the moment where everyone's going to get super hyped on Jackson Dart because the third stringers play a ton in August. So he's going to be throwing it all over the yard against guys that aren't going to have a job in a month. But we're going to get too excited about it anyway. So let the Jackson Dart hype begin.
It's just to remind everyone what it's like for me during football season on this podcast is I will go from the Giants are going all the way to life is horrible, end it all, sell the team, shut it down.
Yep. There's no middle ground.
There is no in between. There's only extremes.
If you're looking for reasonable NFL takes from my co-host, you're in the wrong place.
This is a golf podcast. This is not a football podcast. Speaking of that, though, I know Red Zone is now got a new owner, though.
Yep, that's sad. ESPN Disney bought Red Zone. I mean, you know what that means. Writing on the wall is like the Red Zone's going to have commercials like pretty soon.
Well, yeah.
But it was always 7 hours of commercial-free football, and that was the beautiful thing. You remember there was some controversy in the last year or two because they started to leak in some little mini, half-screen commercials for 15 seconds at a time, and everyone went nuts with that. So just wait till ESPN and Disney get their hands on the Red Zone. Yeah.
Either that or they're just going to do like everything's going to have a Marvel tie-in.
Yeah, yes. Every player will be sponsored by a different superhero from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's talk baseball, and let's just go ahead and say it up front. And I've said it a couple times over these last few weeks. My Yankees suck so bad right now.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I feel bad for you.
We made a bunch of deals at the trade deadline, and we still suck.
Yep, bullpen guys you got did not help.
We just got swept by the Miami Marlins.
Wow. You don't say that very often.
Who, by the way, are now a 500 club as of recording. So, Yeah, it's not great for the Yankees right now. Injuries galore. Pitching sucks. It's just horrible. We're now third in the East. It's going to be? We're still in the wild card. But,
yeah, same here.
Yeah.
We're both still in the wild card at this moment right now. So couple more polls here. Like, the last poll now is now to Labor Day, I'd say. And then it's that final stretch run. So we're kind of in the last chunk of things, last 50, 60 games for clubs. So I just like that we're both in the mix in terms of postseason. And the nice part about the new structure is you give chances to a few more teams than you did in past playoff structure. So just got to get in to win.
Yep. So it's going to be an interesting conclusion of this season. Hopefully Aaron Judge comes back nice and healthy for my Yankees, and we'll see what your Red Sox do. Do you think they'll crap the bed the last month of the season?
I've been waiting for it to happen for like a month or two, but they keep surprising me with these crazy walk-off moments, and they're really reeling me in is what they're doing. They're giving me way too much right now, and football season's about to start. I'm ready to put them on the back burner, but they're too hot right now that I can't leave them alone. So it's a give and take relationship right now with the Red Sox.
The other interesting thing that happened this weekend was they had professional baseball between the Braves and the Reds in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yep.
At Bristol Motor Speedway.
And I'm hearing it was a bit of a fire fest if you attended.
Well, it also had like a rain delay.
Yep,
they had to
rain delay.
Push the game to the next day or something. So,
and the logistics of the getting people out in the rain, I heard, was a shit show. I'm also seeing some bad images of unkept bathrooms. That's right. And I'm also seeing, you'll appreciate the Firefest angle here, bunless hot dogs and nachos served without the cheese. At this MLB game. Which one's worse there? Bunless hot dog or nachos without cheese? Which one's worse?
Probably the bunless hot dog. But none of that matters because they had a car doing laps when there was a home run.
Yes, that was cool. I'm not saying that this wasn't a cool idea. Marketing, great job. Great venue to have baseball, really cool. I guess the logistical execution left something to be desired, but I'm sure they'll try it in other random spots. Though a lot of people were chiming in and saying, Michael, I believe this may have semi-replaced the Field of Dreams game, which I don't know is happening this year.
I feel like this makes more sense than the Field of Dreams game, where that one just felt forced. If you build it, they will come. Well, yeah, but why not just go somewhere where it's already built?
Yeah.
So
interesting.
All right, let's hashtag always end with food.
Yeah, let's keep that food talk going for one more segment here at Always End with Food on Instagram if you want to check out our pictures. It's the 19th hole here on the podcast. And my Midwest note, which is very random. I got no really big evidence for this, but I've just decided that ranch dressing just tastes better in the Midwest. I don't know why.
Well, it's in the Midwest where they really pioneered ranch on pizza, right?
Yeah. I don't know. You get good house-made ranch at a lot of the restaurants here. Every restaurant menu is basically the exact same. It's like a Chili's or Applebee's menu, no matter where you walk into here. But they all seem to have a really good ranch.
Well, look, ranch tastes better when it's not out of a bottle with a farm on it.
True. Yeah.
So,
the house-made ranch makes all the difference. That's my food update for the week.
All right. Big news here out of Savannah food scene. Huge news.
What do we got?
Probably the biggest name to ever come out of the Savannah food scene. Paula Deen.
Oh, Paula Deen. Yes. Okay.
Yep. The restaurant that started it all, The Lady and Sons in downtown Savannah, which I have been to. And my take on it was I can get better food for less at Applebee's.
Wow. Yeah, you did have a pretty strong take. Overrated for the brand name. Kind of like the vibe people get when they go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. A little bit like that.
That said, I love Paula Deen. The space that we now occupy for the bakery is in a former Paula Deen restaurant.
That's cool.
So Paula Deen, though, Dunzo in Savannah, she is shutting down The Lady and Sons and Chicken Box, some additional restaurant attached to it. And she is no longer going to have a presence here in the city.
Wow. I wonder if that was a business related decision, or that seems a little flippant. Like there might be some backstory to that there.
Well, so first of all, just from the few times I'd go downtown and go by her restaurant, it usually was not very full, not as full as it was pre-COVID. And I'm sure that there was probably sales were slumping maybe. Food costs have gone up, so you got to raise prices, which hurts people coming in the door as well.
Oh yeah,
and she was never super expensive anyway. And I'm pretty sure there also was like the lease was up or something like that, and it was just like, let's just cut it loose and do the right business decision and call it a day.
Yeah, fair enough. Wow, end of an era there for you.
That's my guess is what happened there. But Paula Deen, Dunzo in Savannah.
Alrighty, that's the food update from Savannah and here in the Midwest in the Illinois-Wisconsin state line area. Be sure to subscribe right now if you made it this far, because we appreciate you listening to the entire podcast, and we'll see you next week.